Congratulations on finishing your Flash project. Now you should have an animated opening, and then it has a box that appears that animates in. Then it has an animation of your hiker going all the way to the end of the path, and then at the very end we have another animated box coming up that has our restart button in it. We've also added sounds to our buttons, so when we test it with Control Enter or Control Test Movie, we should be able to see the beginning, click on it, and hear a little sound when we click, get to the very end, and then we can restart it with another click. So this is a very simple Flash map, but you can see it uses a lot of different skills in Flash. Now we can always add more things to this. We can add drop shadows to different layers, or we can add more sound effects. We can add more things animating. You know, the possibilities are endless, but this gives you a really good tutorial on how to create a full Flash project with interactivity and everything, and it's all in one little project. So it's quite a lot of skills that come together when you start working with Flash. And once you get a handle of Flash, it's really amazing the flexibility that you have in this application. Now the last thing that we need to do is save our Flash file and know what we need to turn in for the assignment. So let's go to File, and you'll notice that we have Save and we have Save and Compact. Now we've been saving things all the way along. Now when we use just regular save, it tries to save things in a quick way. We're going to use Save and Compact as the last thing that we do. And I'm going to look at this Flash file real quick and just see what size it is currently. You know, I need to make sure I'm saving it in the same folder. So let me do File, Save As, and I've been saving it in a different place. So I'm going to make sure that I'm saving it in this Flash folder so we can see it there. So here is that Flash file. It says that it's really small. I know it's really not that small. Here we go. 560K is what we've got. I'm going to do Save and Compact. And you'll see that it's made it a little bit smaller. It might have done a lot different for your particular file. And the last thing that we want to do is make sure that we do our Control Test Movie one last time. And you'll see that that generates the Swift file. And that Swift file is in the same folder with the Flash file. And you'll see that they're just named differently by the file extension at the end. Notice how small that Swift file is. Now you might notice some other Swift files here. These are actually the tutorials that I had from the last time that I did this project. And you won't need those in the folder. What you'll need in the folder is your Illustrator file that you had as your map. You'll want the let's see. You'll want the Flash file that you've been editing. You'll want the output Swift file at the end, the image that you were importing, and then also the audio that you were importing. And so those would be all the different files. You don't need the zip file. You could go ahead and delete that zip file because we don't need that to submit. And that should be the end of your Flash project. You can actually open up the Swift by itself by double-clicking on it, and that will open outside of Flash even when Flash is not opened. So that is pretty much everything that you will need for this particular project. Hope you enjoyed this set of tutorials. If you have any questions, of course, send me an email or ask me in class, and let's get moving.